Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to my channel, Butterfly Intuition, with me, Christina Marie. This is another video in the True Crime Tarot series. In this video, I'm going to be tapping into the unsolved case of Madeleine McCann. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing my psychic view on what I think happened based on what I intuitively and psychically picked up when I watched a docu-series on Madeleine McCann. So I have no affiliation with the McCann family with the case. I've never spoken to anybody directly involved. This is merely my psychic view, and as always, this video is for entertainment purposes only. So I want you to sit back, relax, and just let the messages come forth as they're supposed to, as I channel them using divination tools such as the pendulum you see in front, and I have a tarot deck and 2 oracle decks over here on the side that are not on camera. So Madeleine McCann disappeared while she was on vacation or holiday, like they say in the UK, on May 3rd, 2007. This was days before her 4th birthday. She was vacationing in Portugal. They were staying at a resort. She basically disappeared without a trace. They have never found her. They've had suspects, but there's nothing that has panned out to give a clue what has really happened to her and where her whereabouts are now. I do feel very strongly that she is alive, but she doesn't have any idea who she is. So the backstory on when she was discovered missing was she would be put to sleep with her siblings, and then her parents would leave and go to dinner. Where they were having dinner on the resort wasn't that far from where they were staying. It was in an apartment. So the parents had a routine where they would just periodically get up and go check on the children. And this was a nightly routine that they were doing. And I feel doing that isn't very responsible because I do feel that they were being watched. There was somebody that was watching the McCann family for probably a day or 2 before she was taken to see the family's routine and to see how they were going to be able to abduct her, because I do feel that she was taken into trafficking, and that is why she's still alive and she doesn't know who she is, because she was taken at a young age where she was basically taught to believe she has a different identity. So the night that she went missing, I feel there's holes in the story that her parents gave. They would leave the door open, which is a red flag, and you're opening the door. So they basically unknowingly left that door open for her to be taken because there wasn't any safety put in. There was too much trust that they were staying at a private resort, because in that area of Portugal there were other children who were taken, but there is a big cover-up where they know that they're being taken to other countries and they're going into trafficking, or they're being sold to people who are wanting to buy children because they can't have children of their own. That was another thing that I picked up on. So let's start using the pendulum to get some confirmations to what I have picked up on. So was Madeleine McCann being watched prior to her abduction? Yes, she was. She definitely was. Yeah, it's going round and round the yes. So yes. Okay. Is Madeleine McCann still alive? Yes, it's going towards yes, and it's going in between now. So this confirms that she is still alive. Okay. One final question. Does Madeleine McCann know who she really is? No. She has assumed the identity of a different person. I'm hearing she was given of a different little girl. I'm hearing adoption. So she was trafficked so somebody could adopt her. So going back to the night that she went missing, the parents would check on them in shifts. The door was left unlocked so they can come and go. The night that she disappeared, I feel that she was left alone longer than the parents were saying. This is what I picked up on. I feel when they came back and they discovered her missing, the window was open, so they assumed that she got up and wandered off. I do feel that they were drinking, not that anyone was completely intoxicated, but alcohol can affect your perception of time, your mind getting like the details straight. They really believe that she wandered off into the distance, and when they discovered that she was missing, they unknowingly tampered with evidence in the room that most likely would have led them to a suspect right away. But they thought she wandered off, so they had too many people going in and out of the room before the police came. So again, evidence was destroyed, evidence was tampered with. Now the police did feel on some level that a trafficking ring took her because they had knowledge of this, but it's hard to prove that because when they take these children, they go to other countries. And then if the other countries don't want to help, then it just becomes like a lose-lose situation. The police knew that the other children who were taken, some of the cops were covering it up, others just knew not to touch it because of the severity, and a lot of times they have special government agencies who specialize in finding these people. So for example, in the United States, local law enforcement will do stuff, but then if a case becomes very big, the FBI gets involved. And then the FBI can do like a federal search if they find that this is part of something that is not just in like one state. So that's the mentality of that. But through the years, the police focused on the parents as suspects, which is common. It's always somebody close. But I feel that they focus too much on the parents, and I give the parents a lot of credit because they stuck together, they remained a unit, they remained active, wanting to find her. I don't feel that they had any knowledge of who took her. It was just an unfortunate incident, especially since when I was watching the docuseries on Madeleine McCann, one of the first things that they talked about was how her mother didn't want to go on this holiday. It's almost like her mother's intuition was telling her something was going to happen. I feel that there were a lot of leads coming into the police. Like they talked about how she was seen days after she was taken. There were other leads that came in that they didn't talk about in the documentary. The police ignored the real leads because it would have to get other countries involved. I just feel that they believe that the parents or somebody, like when they focus on that one gentleman, I'm blanking on his name, they thought he was involved for a really long time, but he wasn't. But there was one sighting of her that stuck with me, because I had heard the word trafficking from the minute that I started watching this, and I got that she was still alive. So this card comes out, the clarity of evidence. Ensure that evidence is clear and unequivocal. Scrutinize the evidence for accuracy, relevance. Clear evidence supports strong conclusions and effective decision making. So the clarity of evidence was there, but there was one sighting, there was one lead that they didn't look into, that if they did, I know they would have found her. She was recognized. There was a woman who was approached by this other woman asking, do you have my new daughter? Do you have my new daughter? And this was within days of Madeleine being taken. And this woman, okay, this is the description that they gave to the police. As soon as I saw this, I heard Ghislaine Maxwell. Look at that. There is absolutely no way that this is not her. So this is who took her. Because one of the things that I've read about the whole Ghislaine Maxwell Epstein thing is that she always was represented as the woman who mothered these girls, took care of them. So it's very similar. Like I know that there's a lot of things that they talk about with Epstein Island with inappropriate acts and inappropriate things that were happening on that island, but I do feel that they also sold children to other people who couldn't have children, and I feel in Madeleine McCann's case that's what happened. I feel that she was just sold to a family who could not have children of their own, and that is she's alive, she's not suffering, she was never abused. I don't get that. I just feel, because I've picked up on it so strongly, that she is alive and she just doesn't know who she is. But I do feel that there could be somewhat of a DNA test that she will have to take that is going to show her her true identity. I do see reunion with her family. I am feeling 5 years they could have a reunion, but I do feel that she is going to meet her family, or she's just going to just want, just meet them and see them, because she's lived all these years as another person with another family, where her parents, I feel they are going to get the truth. So let's use this pendulum again to get clarification from the channeling that I'm getting. So, is Madeleine McCann okay? Yes. She's thriving, is what I hear. Okay. Did Ghislaine Maxwell traffic Madeleine and sell her? Yes. Will Madeleine McCann be reunited with her family? All right, it's going in between yes and maybe. So it's going to depend on the choices and the actions that she does. Because they're showing me that there's a DNA test where she's either going to do like her family background and she's going to figure this out or something. It's not like she's actively wanting to get a DNA test. I just feel like, how some people do like that DNA, like you send in your DNA to find out what your ancestry is. I feel she could do that, and that is how she's going to find out that she's not who they say she is, because I don't feel that her parents have ever told her she's adopted. So I want to get some tarot cards here to just get some specific just messages on what Spirit wants us to know. And I'm also going to use my True Crime Oracle cards to just bring forth any messages that want to come through on why this happened and how this can be solved, so Madeleine as well as her family can have some peace. All right, we have female. So this female holds the key to the story, but she is not going to speak. She is not going to shed any light. And we have the Eight of Pentacles because she is, I'm hearing, locked up. The Eight of Pentacles represents a maybe. So she thinks about coming clean about that, but I feel very intuitively that she is just preoccupied working on other things because she was found, she was tried, and I feel that this is something that she is not going to speak out about. So the World card shows me that there could be a big break in this case, because I know that the case has now been closed, that they are not searching for her anymore. They have presumed her unalived because they've never found evidence, but I do believe her parents are still actively looking, but they're doing it in a more very private way. So I do feel that the parents could be using some type of private investigator to try to find what exactly is happening, because they know that there was some type of organized crime unit or group that took her. That is confirmed by what I channeled earlier, so this card definitely confirms it. Motel Hotel shows me that she was taken to a hotel. She stayed there until it was time for her to go to her new family. So the Queen of Swords shows me that she blocks out. This time I don't feel that she will remember it, because this was a very traumatic time for her. She was 3 years old, days away from her 4th birthday. She was very upset. She didn't understand why she wasn't around her mother. She did cry for her mother a lot. She didn't understand why she was taken. They never told her that her parents didn't want her. They have a way to make children just think something else. So the forensic pathway says, follow a systematic approach in your forensic analysis. Use established methods to examine evidence and draw conclusions. A structured pathway will ensure thorough and accurate results. So they were given this lead to find this woman. This is somebody that they knew held the key, had the answers, but for some reason the police did not go down that route. And why is that? The Knight of Pentacles shows me that they were too slow. They just moved in their own direction. They wanted to maintain dignity. They didn't want to cause panic because they didn't want to lose tourists. They didn't want to lose that revenue of money that comes in. But the truth in shadow shows me that beneath the surface, when you investigate what lies hidden in the shadows of a situation, you can look beyond the surface to uncover underlying truths. Exploration of the shadows reveals aspects that may otherwise be missed. So they missed a lot because they were looking. So they were going by the books. They were going by the facts, and unfortunately for this little girl, they just assumed that she wandered off, or maybe they were thinking she went into the ocean or something. They just didn't want to believe that this ring could do that. Or like I said, some of them knew, the ones higher up knew of this, but they don't go there. So the Hierophant shows me that there has to be a change in beliefs and truths with how missing child cases are handled. If you watched the previous video to this, I tuned into the Unsolved case of Jean-Benet Ramsey on how they could never solve her unaliving. So you have, and I do feel on some level that they did kind of compare the Madeleine McCann disappearance to JonBenet Ramsey. That's why they focus so much on the parents. But at the end of the day, they had similarities, but they were different. They were different. And I think the Hierophant card is coming through to say you have to approach every case as its own entity, even though there may be similarities with this one and another one, but you're having two different situations in two different countries, two different worlds. But at the same time, you still have police who kind of drop the ball because they rely so much on their training. And I'm not knocking the cops. I am a pro police. I know there's a lot of good ones. I know there's a lot of bad ones. But I just feel on some level that, like, if police and psychics work together a lot more, a lot of these cases would be solved, and a lot of clarity and closure could happen. Because I do feel 5 years, I do feel that there is going to be some type of reunion. So let's ask my pendulum before we go. So will Madeleine McCann reunite with her family in 5 years? Maybe. In between maybe and in between yes. So like I said, it goes back to what I picked up on. It's a matter if that's going to align. So time will tell, but that is my psychic view on what I think happened with Madeleine McCann. So I do hope that this video has brought you some clarification. I will be doing more of these videos, so if you have an unsolved case that you would like me to look into, I can definitely make a video of it. You can drop a comment below to let me know, or you can send me an email at butterflyintuition1111@gmail.com. Thank you for watching this. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you are a subscriber, please make sure to hit that bell notification so you are notified when a new video is posted on this channel. Have a beautiful rest of your day, night, or afternoon.